Hi guys, thanks for joining us today for our devotional. Hope you're doing great, enjoying this beautiful weather. So just wanted to ask you a question today. Are you living a post-resurrection life or are you living a pre-resurrection life? Pastor Yoel spoke on Because He Lives on Sunday, and he said one thing that we have since Christ lives is power. So I started kind of questioning myself. I'm like, am I truly living a life that shows the resurrection of Jesus, that shows victory in my life? Or am I still bound in some things with those grave clothes? Do I keep running back to that grave and picking those things up, which were taken from me when Christ rose from the dead and I rose with him? So that's what I want to ask you today. Are you living and walking a resurrected life? So just like Jesus called Lazarus out of the grave, he's calling you to come out and leave those things behind. Leave them in the past. Leave them in the grave. Don't go back and pick them up. The enemy, that's where he wants you. He wants you going back to that grave, picking up those things, those addictions, those chains that have bound you, that fear, that anxiety that Christ died to set us free from. He wants you going back. The enemy wants you going back to the grave and picking them up. Now, living a resurrected life doesn't mean living a perfect life, okay? We all give into fear. We all give into anxiety. We all give into the flesh sometimes, whether it's in our attitude or our deed. You know, you may just huff and puff over something, and that's given into the flesh, right? But you know what? The good thing about Jesus is he keeps calling you out of that grave. He didn't leave you in that grave. He keeps calling you out. So that's what I want us to think about today. How is our life? Are we living a true, resurrected, victorious life? If you listen to the lies of the enemy, you're never going to be set free. You're never going to be healed. You're never gonna be what God intends for you to be. One of my favorite scenes in The Passion of the Christ, and that's something that I like to do every year around this time, is watch that video or that movie, that film. But one of my favorite scenes in the film is at the very beginning, and it's when Jesus crushes the head of the serpent. You see, the serpent was there from the very beginning. Adam and Eve had this life of ultimate freedom. It's a paradise where God's presence is just surrounds them constantly. And instead of listening to the Lord and the one thing that he told them not to do, she spoke to the thing that she should have been stepping on. Let me say that again. She spoke to the one thing that she should have been stepping on. Now, many times the enemy makes you start questioning things. You know, why if healing is for me, then, you know, why is it not an automatic thing? Why am I not healed instantaneously? Or if deliverance is for me, if being set free from this addiction is for me, then why am I not seeing it instantaneously? Well, you know, we all deal with these things. We all deal with fear and anxiety. So resurrected life doesn't mean not dealing with these things, okay? But it means how we walk through these things. So Eve allowed these conversations with the enemy to continue, didn't she? She kept listening to it. She just kept allowing him to speak to her, and these things got in her mind, and then they eventually got into her heart, her spirit. And what does she do? In an instant, she has given up all of her blessings just for that one bite. So living a resurrected life means you stop conversing, stop speaking to the dead things in your life. I want us to look at John 14:12. I'm going to read that to you, okay? John 14:12. And this is Jesus talking. Most assuredly, I say to you, he who believes in me, the works I do, he will do also. And greater works than these he will do, because I go to my Father. And whatever you ask in my name, I will do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If you ask anything in my name, I will do it. Now, I don't know about you, but I am sick and tired of seeing my family, seeing my friends living a defeated life, living a life bound by the things of the world, by the devil, the things that the devil wants to keep us bound by, keep us going back to that grave. I'm tired of it. Let me go back to Mark 16 for you. So let's look at Mark 16. So we just read, Jesus said, greater works shall you do. Okay? Because I go to my Father. So now that he's resurrected, you have the power to do greater works than what he did. Mark 16, verse 17. Read this. And these signs will follow those who believe. In my name, they will cast out demons. They will speak with new tongues, and they will take up serpents. And if they drink anything, it will by no means hurt them. They will lay hands on the sick, and they will recover. Now, guys, that's a victorious life. That is living a victorious life. Seeing people healed, seeing people delivered, seeing people set free from these addictions. That's a victorious life. And where does it start? Right here. Starts with us. It's not up to our pastors. It's not up to our pastors to, try to conjure up some big, great message. It's up to us. It's up to us to walk and live a resurrected life. It's up to us to come into the presence of God and come expecting to receive good things from him. So, kind of got off on a tangent, didn't I? So that is what we are called to do. Okay? What I read to you just now. That's what we're called to do. So walk out of the grave and step on the devil's head. Those things that are hindering you from doing what God's called you to do, step on them. Those sins that try to entangle you, those fears, stop going back to the grave. Leave them. It's in the past. Leave them. We are living post-resurrection now. Don't allow the enemy to call you back to the grave. Ignore his lies and keep moving forward. And how do you do it? You do it with Jesus by the power of the Holy Spirit. So that's what I want you to just ask yourself. Today on the way to co-op, I actually heard a lady on the radio, and she said the average person is faced with 35,000 choices a day, whether it be what you put in your mouth, what you eat, what you decide to wear, what do you decide to brush your teeth, do you decide to take a shower, 35,000 choices throughout the day. And you know what? You have the power to choose. Am I going to live a resurrected life, or am I going to live like a life of defeat, like I'm in the grave, like he's in the grave and there is no hope or no power? Now, the devil is a defeated foe. And the Lord wants you free. He wants you free from the things that bind you. He wants you to take off those grave clothes and be clothed in his righteousness because he purchased it for you on the cross. So walk away from the grave and have a great rest of the week. I love you.